onto page 2. I have already put the matrices out. Now we're solving using Kramer's rule, and you do need to use Kramer's rule. We're multiplying diagonally. So it's 3 times negative 3 minus 2 times 5. Negative 9 minus 10 is a negative 19. Now for my x, negative 9 times negative 3 minus 13 times 5. And 27 minus a 65 is a negative 38. So we have 27, sorry about that, minus 65 is equal to a negative 38. So my x equals negative 38 divided by negative 19, which means x equals 2. Okay. And then here, 3 times 13 minus negative 2 times a negative 9. 39 minus a negative 18 equals 57. So y equals 57 divided by negative 19. Oops, 57, hopefully I can type it correctly. Divided by negative 19, and that equals a negative 3. And check it. 3 times 2 is 6, 5 times negative 3 is negative 15, 6 and negative 15 is negative 9. 2 times 2 is 4, negative 3 times a negative 3 is a positive 9, 4 and 9 is 13. So I know I'm right. Once again, every one of these can be checked. I would encourage you to do so. Here we're doing 3 times negative 3 to get my denominator, minus 4 times 2. And this is negative 9 minus 8 equals a negative 17. Be very careful. A common mistake here is people are going to want to put down negative 1. It's negative 17. You got to be aware of signs at all times. 12 times negative 3 minus a negative 1 times 2. Well, that's negative 36 minus a negative 2, which gives you negative 34, which means my x equals negative 34 divided by negative 17. My x equals 2. And then for my y, 3 times negative 1 minus 4 times 12. We're looking at negative 3 minus 48 equals negative 51. My y equals negative 51 divided by negative 17. And that means my y equals 3. You check it. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 2, is 8. 3 times 3 is 9. 8 minus 9 is equal to negative 1. So if when you put the numbers in and it works out, there's a good chance you did it right. Here, 4 times 1 minus negative, or 3 times negative 2. Oh, that's 4 minus a negative 6. We're looking at 10. Here, 22 times 1 minus 14 times a negative 2. 22 minus a negative 28 is equal to 50. My x equals 50 over 10, and my x equals 5. For my y, 4 times 14 minus 3 times 22. 4 times 14 is 56. Minus 3 times 22, which is 66. That's a negative 10. So my y equals negative 10 divided by 10, which means y equals negative 1. And therefore my answer, 4 times 5 is 20. Negative 2 times negative 1 is 2. 20 and 2 is 22. 3 times 5 is 15, and negative 1 is 14. It does work on every level. Here, 4 times 10 minus 12 times a negative 5. We end up with 40 minus a negative 60, which equals 100. And now here we have 10, or let's go with negative 1 times 10, minus 7 times a negative 5. Okay. Now here we have negative 10 minus a negative 35. So we end up with 25. Okay? And then x equals 25 over 100, which means x equals 1/4. So can you get fractions? Absolutely. 4 times 7 minus a 12 times a negative 1. All right, that's going to be a 28 minus a negative 12, and that equals 40. My y is going to equal 40 over 100, and my y equals 2/5. And this one can be checked. 4 times 1/4 is 1. 5 times 2/5 is 2. 2 minus 1, 1 minus 2 is a negative 1. 12 times 1/4 is 3. 10 times 2/5 is 4. 3 and 4 equals 7. So it does work out on every single level. Here, you're going to get fractional answers as well, and that's okay. That is actually the purpose of this method, is when you get to deal with kind of crazy fractional answers. So here, we're going to get 9 times 2 minus 12 times a negative 4, and that's going to be 18 minus a negative 48, and that equals 66. Here we're going to get 4 times 2 minus 9 times a negative 4. Oops. And we're going to get 8 minus a negative 36, and that equals 44. Here we're going to get 9 times 9 minus 12 times 4. Whoops, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun here. This would be x equals 44 over 66, or x equals 2/3. Sorry about that. And now back to here, 9 times 9 minus 12 times 4, that's 81 minus 48. And that is 33. And then my y equals 33 divided by 66, and y equals 1/2. And if you wanted to check it, 9 times 2/3 is 6. Half of 4 is 2, 6 minus 2 is 4. 12 times 2/3 is 8. Half of 2 is 1, 8 and 1 is 9. It does work out on every single level.